And I don't know what's got those ponies so so hyped up that they've started just zooming about up and down the field. But yes, good morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry we're a bit late to start off today. Nope. There they go. Sorry that we're so late today. But there they go, galloping past again. Sorry we're so late today. Good morning, Shanks. Good morning to you. Like I say, sorry we're so late to start today, but I had, as you know, this year I am the UK president, so I've got sort of presidential duties to attend to when it comes to sort of JSI UK, and had a Banzim meeting. Sort of, we have a meeting in our little sort of voting block that we have within JCI, and obviously we've got European conference coming up in Bucharest, so I'm going to be in Romania in a couple of weeks' time. So we've had sort of a meeting about what's going on there, and we've had, as part of that meeting, we've had some of the Australians and New Zealanders as part of our alliance. They've turned up. So had a sort of a mid-morning meeting, and yes, that's why we're late starting and kicking off the day. But no, we are. Oh, yep. But no, we are here today. But good morning, good morning, good morning. We've got Prinny Bird. Good morning to you, Dave W. Good morning to you as well. But yes, good morning to you all. There we go. And welcome to, well, probably a very good, indeed, good morning walk today, because, oh, there we go. To the Coda, good morning to you. You're quite happy you council lost 3 Tories yesterday. Well, I don't think you're alone in that. So all the ponies are up here today. But yeah, doesn't surprise me, to be honest, because already, this is being dubbed as Tory Black Friday. Because, oh my, indeed. Normally, and I want to just express this, because last time we had a live stream, I did say I expected sort of the Tory losses to be about, what, 450, 500? And I was sort of trying to sort of maybe manage expectations. You know, I was trying to sort of manage expectations and go, well, I think that I knew the Tories were going to take an absolute pasting, but I didn't think it would be this bad. I generally did not think that Dowden was actually correct, that they would lose more than 1,000 seats, and lose more than 1,000 seats they have. In fact, they lost control of over 45 councils, I think it was, in the grand scheme of things. So you've got a lot, and I mean a lot now, of very, very angry Tories pointing the finger at Rishi Sunak, as we talked about yesterday. And they were, talk about, you know, a copium overdose. Seriously. Oh, good morning, Cathlo G. Good morning, PE. Good morning to you as well. Good morning to anyone else that has jumped in that I've missed. Like I say, good morning to you. But yeah, this is one of those things where it's been like, oh my, right from the word go. So there was that, and I was trying to manage people's expectations, you know, because I knew they were going to take a loss, but I didn't realise they were going to lose that badly. And it was funny to see the desperation on that. To the Coda. That's that one hit target. It's their 13 years. Said one of the, yeah. Exactly. They've got no one to blame for the situation but themselves. I mean, they've been in charge for this long. There's no one to blame but themselves. And even recently, just a couple of weeks ago, they were still trying to blame Labour. But hold on, guys, they hadn't been in power for more than a decade. It's you guys who have been in power, and yet you're still trying to blame Labour for when you've been in power this long. You know? There is certainly, and always is, this bizarre sort of panic, and I think instinct from them to just blame someone else for their own mistakes. Which is very telling, to be honest, but there you go. And then the other thing that was, I think, so funny about these results was the fact of how slow these results came out, because normally these results are like out at 5 a.m. Maybe you've got a few councils left, but you know what the result's going to be. But these results took the entire day, and it wasn't till about like 7, 8 o'clock in the evening where we finally got all the results in. And I'll tell you now, this added. Oh, good morning to you from, how is it? John, good morning to you from Ireland. Good morning. This added, I think, to the absolutely wonderful cope posting that we saw all yesterday going on. Because, oh my word, it was a thing of beauty. It was an absolute beautiful just to watch Twitter every hour that there had been an update about new results, and things were just getting worse and worse and worse for them. They were losing more and more seats, and yet they were just panicking. I mean, one Tory even tried to spin it as blaming Vladimir Putin for this. Oh, thank you very much, John. Thank you very much for your support there, your super sticker. Thank you very much. Nope. There we go. Dave W. How's Owen Jones? Oh no. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Why did I hide? Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that, John. I hid you and then I've now unhid you for some reason. This is the problem where you can't see. Yeah, I know, I hid the super chat and I was just like, this is the problem. I can't see the screen too clearly because I'm literally walking into the sun. It's really difficult to see the screen. So I was just like, so hopefully I've unhid you. On that, but yes, thank you very much, John, for your super chat. I shall double check when I get back to make sure that I have unhid you. It has said that I have unhid you. Oh, there you are. Yes, you're back. So sorry about that, John. But yes, thank you very much for your support. Very much appreciated. But this was an absolute thing of beauty. Just so much coping. And I have to wonder what the consequence is going to be, because we've talked about before what are the chances of like maybe an early general election, or the Tories just going, well, screw it, why delay the inevitable? Let's just get this over with, type of thing. And to be fair, the Tories have been talking consistently ever since sort of the downfall of Boris that they aren't going to win the next general election. And I think that these results, which we said are going to be examined microscopically, have pretty much shown that Labour, if it was a general election, would have swept the field with them in a very, very, very big way. And the thing is, I haven't even, this is the one thing I haven't done yet. I haven't even checked Conservative home. I mean, we've when I get home, we've got to check on Will the T-boy and the other cast at Conservative home to make sure that they're doing all right. No, has anyone checked on them? But oh my, the articles that are going to be published on there are going to be a thing of beauty. An absolute thing of wonderful beauty. Oh, I have to say, chat, what a day. What a day. And all I can say is now, this weekend, Tories are going to be panicking. They are going to be panicking like mad. Oh boy, are they going to be upset. You know, they'll try and sort of soothe themselves, or at least soothe themselves, with the coronation that's happening today. But I'll tell you this now, they ain't gonna have a very good bank holiday weekend. Oh, Ben, good morning to you. Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. These results. Because these results have very interesting Brexit implications. For those of you, I think, that have seen, I think it's Mike Galworthy's post about them. I think the UK European movement has posted about them as well. So you might have already seen them, but they're very much worth discussing. Because, as we've seen, some very interesting results. Very interesting indeed. So, the first one was that all of Labour's gains, all of the gains that Labour had, its highest gains, came from areas that had voted to leave during the European Union, during the EU referendum. That is very, very interesting, to say the least. The fact that we've got a situation where they've got, oh yeah, these new areas, these red wall seats. Again, as I've always said to people, it's very telling that we still refer to them as red wall seats. So you know who's going to be panicking the most, certainly this weekend, when it comes to talking about these results, that's for sure. But yes, they will absolutely be panicking in the red wall, because many of those 2019 intakes were hoping that this was some sort of new voter coalition, this new alliance that was going to sort of speed them into a new Tory age, ushered in by Boris Johnson. Apparently not so. So, yeah, it's absolutely insane that that's what one of the results turned out to be, that you've got such a high win rate for Labour from those areas that voted to leave. And then, even more funny, the areas where the Conservatives took the most losses were the areas that voted to remain. Our Conservative, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Like I say, what a day we had yesterday, Conservative. What a day we had. And I'll tell you now, it was difficult not to be addicted, to become addicted to the cope. That's for sure. Because I'm sure a lot of people were having some very, very much copium overdoses. And I saw someone ask what was Owen Jones's reaction to all these wins, because as we all know, Owen Jones really only happy when Labour's losing. I haven't seen what his result has been about all this, but I guarantee he'll be trying to spin it in some way, shape or form that this isn't a endorsement of Labour and the current sort of Labour Party under Keir Starmer. I'm sure he'll be saying, oh no, you don't understand, it's more a rejection of the Tories. I'm almost sure he'll be doing that. So, I suspect Owen Jones is secretly a Lib Dem. That is very possible. Ben, I'm sure Owen Jones was shouting Labour successes from the rooftop. Well, this is it. He might be. Oh, Chatty Rat, good morning to you as well. This is it. I mean, we'll see what his response is, but yeah, that'll be fun. And then we need to see Double Down News what their results are going to be about this, because oh my, I'm sure they'll somehow find some way to spin this is all secretly Corbyn's doing. Oh my. But yes, these results, honestly, do not bode well for Sunak. Oh, Corey, good morning to you. Yep, Colin, the next few days of Squirm are going to be glorious. Indeed they are. Patrick H, I wonder what Nova are accusing Starmer of today. Yeah. Exactly. They will find something, I'm sure, some way to blame. Them. But while we obviously are celebrating sort of the losses, of course, of the Tories, there are some big gains to be celebrated by Labour. But the Lib Dems and the Greens had a good night as well. They had a very, very good night, did the Lib Dems and Greens. So the Lib Dems result was 300 and something. I think it was 320 something from what I remember. And the Greens cracked over just under 300, I believe it was. Oh, Cathlo G, thank you very much. Is anyone checking on Jonathan Gillis? Congratulations today on David Hartley, elected on 91 votes at 47% of Watford North in Liverpool. Yeah. Once again, voter turnout. Although we won't find out, I think, I don't think they'll publish the voter turnout numbers for a while yet. Because we've got to find out how many people were registered and then how many people actually turned out to vote. And then interestingly enough, we've heard lots of stories as well on Thursday about people being turned away from the polls. So the idea that we're going to keep this voter ID law, I very much doubt it, especially as apparently these were happening, from at least what I can tell, most of these incidents were happening in Tory MP areas. So they're not going to get some very happy emails from some of their constituents or people who got turned away for not voting. But for the effect on the total vote, well, at the moment we don't know, because we haven't got the data yet to say sort of what the turnout was, and we'll be comparing it to sort of previous turnout data and etc. So we've got to wait and sit on that for at least the time being to see what's going to happen there. But nevertheless, I think the voter ID isn't long. it's not going to have a very long shelf life. That's for sure. But I think now we get to turn to the fun stuff of what happens to the Tories now. Well, I think now, after the hope at least that they were going to bring in Sunak, that there was going to be this calm period. There was just going to be this nice calm period. Everyone would be all right. We'd all be, you know, back around the campfire singing Kumbaya, and we'd all forget the trials and the tribulations of the Boris and Truss years, and put them back as a distant memory because Sunak was in charge. He is our safe pair of hands. Let him get on with the job. And at least the hope was, because you've got to remember, this is what all the Tories were saying when they finally elected Sunak, was don't worry, he'll reverse things. You know, he'll make things better. Or at least the hope he would make things better. That's certainly for sure. Yeah, a strong and stable government. More like a very weak and stable government, because this is the thing of the only people who can really decide now if there's going to be an early general election is the Tory MPs. Do they just finally say, screw it, let's get this over and done with now? Or do they decide to hang on? And I think, to be honest, they're probably going to try and hang on, because the current Tory strategy really is, let's lose as best as we can. Like, we know we're going to lose, but let's try and lose as best as we can, which basically means let's try and retain as many seats as we can, just to essentially be an effective opposition. Because you'll remember a couple of months ago where we were talking about the fact that there was going to be this sort of wipeout, and the Tories might be left with maybe like 100 or even less than 100 MPs. And this was the big panic that Truss had brought about. So it would be funny to see, or interesting to see, if this panic returns, because I'll tell you now, none of these none of the Tories are going to be very, very happy about the results. And like I say, you've now got over 1,000 councillors who will be not very happy this weekend with Rishi Sunak. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Johnson purged all the party of the semi-sane members. Exactly. Or they knew the chaos that Brexit was going to make, so they've been sitting on the back benches. I mean, the only Tory that's been saying and really saying stuff about the damage that Brexit has been doing is being Tobias Ellwood. You know, he's been the only Tory. He's been the only Tory that has been like say, oh yeah, Brexit's doing all this economical damage. You know, you want a good economy. Well, we have to start by at least rejoining the single market and customs union to begin with, because that's going to help at least stabilise the economy. It will re-establish supply lines and supply chains. So they are probably not going to be a very happy bunch, and expect more rebellions. Expect a lot more rebellions, because as I said in my video about this yesterday, if you're a Tory MP, What reason do you have to be loyal to Sunak? Like, what's your reason to be loyal to him now? He's not won a general election. He's very likely to lose the next general election. One which after he will probably have to step down. So there's going to be another leadership contest. And then who knows who ends up leading the party then? Especially with so few potential MPs. Yeah, exactly, Alan. I think that'll be the car that they go for. Because I think they know that they can't go for a general election. I think they're going to try and hold off as long as they can on having one. I mean, there was talk about, if these elections went well, then we might have an early general election, because if the local election results prove at least somewhat favourable, then maybe we'll have an early general election and it won't be so bad. Yeah, we might lose, but we won't lose badly, if that makes sense. Loki's children, good morning to you. Yeah, Scribbly, a week of Tories being apoplectic with rage is going to be interesting. Yeah, it is. Or it's going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Like I say, they are not going to be happy bunnies. They are not going to be very happy bunnies at all in the Conservatives today. And it's all the fault of Rishi Sunak. Eddie, good morning to you. One of the things we covered yesterday was you had a senior Tory coming out and saying, well, look, Sunak has to own this. It's him. He's either been Chancellor or Prime Minister. And everyone voted, from what we can at least see, on the economic lines. The guy who's the most responsible for that is Sunak. He's been the Chancellor or Prime Minister during these times. So he can't wiggle out of it. And of course, remember, it was his faction, it was his people who got rid of Johnson, who got rid of Truss, under the idea, under the selling point that I'm a safe pair of hands, I can turn this around. And yet, he really hasn't. He really has not turned this around. So what does this bode then for a potential general election? Well, at the moment, as we've seen in the polls, it looks like a complete Tory wipeout. And that general election result potentially confirms that might be the case. I mean, as we said, sometimes you've got to, temper your expectations. So when you see these, this is what I'd been doing, and that's obviously I was a bit, oh wow, okay, they've lost more than 1,000 seats. Well, not surprising. Not my King protesters arriving. Yeah, that's going to be a whole thing today. And it's just about the time we just, need to get rid of who they're going to sort of wheel out tomorrow. My money's on Chris. Chris Phillips. Oh, the Sunday morning shows. Oh boy, oops, Daisy. Oh, nearly. The Sunday morning shows on Sunday are going to be interesting, because they're going to be trying to say, how can they turn this around? They've got really, they've got now less than a year and a half to try and turn this around. And I'll be honest, I don't see how they turn it around. You know, Rishi Sunak came in saying he's going to deal with inflation. Well, hasn't exactly dealt with inflation. It's only only increased. Oh, there we go. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Whoop, there we go. Get across the mud. This is why I still wear my wellies, just for that one patch. But eventually it'll dry up a bit more. I'll get back to the good old walking boots. Yeah, it's only going to get worse. Oh yeah. It is only going to get worse for them. And they've got no one else to blame but for themselves for that. No one else to blame but them for that. So, yeah, they are not going to have a good time. They are not going to have a very good time at all, I think, this weekend. But it's what the reaction comes next. And to be honest, they're going to panic. The Red Wall Tories, who were at least, but really for the past couple of local elections, have been hoping that they can hopefully, well, turn the local councils blue as well, haven't exactly helped out. And the fact that, you know, they're gonna find themselves on being unable to do that. Well, what does that mean then for a general election? We've already had talk and seen talk by a couple of sort of people over yesterday that the idea that this new coalition that they'd helped build is going to go up in flames. And it does look like that already. So we've got probably a large number. Yeah, bring back Boris. Well, I have to wonder if that is the brigade that's going to sort of appear. All the big names will lose their seats. Yeah, that's certainly what it's looking like. Jacob Rees-Mogg is going to lose his seat. Dominic Raab is going to lose his seat. Boris potentially looks like he will lose his by-election and lose his seat. There's so many people who are going to lose their seats. And in a way, it might be good, because it might allow them for at least a second to have a reset and maybe get some sensible Tories back in. But I doubt it. I very much doubt it, because I think they're just going to double down even more. Because that's what we've seen. You know? Well, this is it, yeah, get rid of the extremists. Well, exactly. I think that's maybe a lot of their hope. But this original split in the Tory party, this free market fundamentalists versus those who were in favour of regulation, the whole thing that caused Brexit in the first place, as we said, I think yesterday when we released the video about that. Oh no, sorry, that's coming out today that I'm doing that. That original argument that caused Brexit hasn't been settled. It's still going on. And it's just got to a point where you've got to look at what on earth are they going to do next? What have they got to show? What have they got to run on? It's not good. It is not good for such a party to be in such a dire position. And it's hilarious because they've only gone and done this to themselves. Numerous times in the past, someone should have stood up and taken to task these extremists in the party. No one did, because they were terrified of breaking party unity. Yet who are the ones who broke the party unity? It was the ERG, all the hardcore Brexit extremists, all the free market fundamentalists. The whole UKIP filtration in 2016, that was a whole thing. That temporarily brought us things like Lee Anderson, who's probably also going to lose his seat. So will be interesting to see what his reaction, because there's some people I haven't looked up on purpose. I just want to sort of take it in. I wanted to sort of space myself out on the copium. But oh boy, there is someone who's going to lose their seat at the next election. That's for sure. Yeah, it's all turned into a Mad Max wasteland. Very true, Ben. Do you see a Blair-style wipeout? Well, this is it coming to general elections. I'm going to be very, very careful about making predictions, because general elections often become their own beast. So it would be very, very hard to really predict what's going to happen. Are the Tories going to lose? Yes. And I think it's just a case of how badly are they going to lose. Because I think this idea now that maybe their hope against hope that Sunak could maybe scrape them a win, I think after this, those illusions are going to be very much done. Those are going to be done. There is no way anything like that potentially happens. But there will be a lot of panic. And it's just what is going to be their reaction. And as who said it recently? Colin, yeah. It's not going to be good for them. They're already looking at a loss. It's just how bad they're going to lose. And we hope very, very badly, because they deserve it. They very, very, very much so deserve the absolute annihilation that waits them in a general election. Hang on, let me just try and wash off a bit of this mud. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Wellies are a bit cleaner now. Straight into another mud patch. Oh. But oh boy, the anger this week is going to be a thing to behold. And I think it's who does this embolden in the party. Because every single enemy of Sunak this weekend is going to be sharpening their knives. And the big question will be is, was Sunak the guy he was sold to us as? Is this the guy who can actually turn things around? Should we get rid of Sunak? Are there enough Tories to back the position of well, we voted Sunak, we really can't afford another, what would be a very damaging leadership election. We can't afford another leadership election, but you know what, we'll at least keep Sunak in for the time being. But I think there will already be an agreement. To be honest, there will be a lot of Tory MPs approaching Sunak saying this weekend that if he loses the next general election, he should resign. And I think that is what a lot of Tories are going to be saying, making that calculation of, we keep Sunak, but after we lose, he's gone. But you're also going to see a lot of desperation in the fact that they feel that we're not taking advantage of stuff. So expect to see a lot more potentially crazy bills. So the retained EU law bill could be very, very likely we end up seeing just as crazy bills be trying to push through, because as we've also seen a lot of Tory MPs saying, oh, people voted against us because we're not taking advantage of Brexit. So expect them to cling on to that hope. But they are not going to be making very good decisions, to be honest. The decision-making process in the Tory party is going to be split. And they're all going to be split about which way they go, what they do, who does what. Oh. Can you see the foal? Hang on. There he is. Little foal right there. Yeah, we're starting to see more and more foals now. But oh boy. Yeah, exactly. What else do they have? They haven't got anything. This is it. They've got nothing to run on. Sunak can't run on his record. Can't run on how successful Tory rule has been. So I think they're all waiting in the trough. Waiting for... Oh. As I said, there is no food. They're probably having breakfast, but never mind. But yeah, none of this is good. Like, the idea that this is good is very bad. Anyway, morning boy, can you let me past? I hate doing this now. Yeah, they can run on borrowed time. Exactly. Maybe they should give Liz Truss another shot. Oh, expect something from Liz Truss soon. Expect something from Liz. I wouldn't be surprised if Liz Truss and Boris Johnson have both, over the course of this weekend, got articles about how if only they had been in charge, this wouldn't have happened. They are going to drill into Sunak hard. Oh, pardon me. There we go. But yeah, they are going to drill into Sunak hard. And I'm just waiting. Because it won't be just Sunak, it'll be a whole swathe of them. Oh yeah, the new book from Truss. Exactly. This new book from Truss. Hilarious. Going to be hilarious on so many fields. It's one of those things, do you get it? Do you get it? Do you go for it? Or not? Oh, yep. Haven't a clue. Well, I wouldn't say they don't owned by anyone, because they just seem to be abandoned, to be honest. I mean, if you look at the state of them, they're not in very good condition.
No, they do seem to be kind of wild a little bit. I don't know whether they belong to like travelers or something.
I have no idea. Yeah. No, I don't know who owns them, but like I say, they're pretty much left to their own devices. But yeah, I think if you are worried, I think maybe like RSPCA or something like that might be the best bet. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But yeah, like I say, it's to be honest, if you look at them, the condition of them is not very good. Yeah, I mean the condition on some of them is they're losing their. Some of them are clearly losing their hair on them as well. And the hooves, if you've seen the small Shetland one, his hooves are atrocious. But yeah, like I said, I don't know who owns them. Yeah. Oh, anyway, let's crack on, shall we? Oh, are you coming to say hello? Morning. A very nice chocolate lad. But yeah, it's already been dubbed Black Friday. It's already been dubbed Black Friday. And you can understand why. This bad a loss, this close to a general election, it's not going to do them any good. And they're going to panic. They're going to... Oh. Can we see? Oh, there's the little hole. Just... There he is. But yeah, this is not going to be good. And I think Sunak, who was already a weak prime minister, well, his position's now even weaker. We were already seeing rebellions. Well, prepare to see a whole lot more. Imagine over 1,000 Tories crying. It is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to imagine. But just think, all those Tories who lost their seat, who are they going to be angry at? They're going to be angry at Rishi Sunak and how he was sold to them, as he would be able to turn this situation around. He'd be a safe pair of hands. And yet, what's he really done? He's not really done anything. And I think the more people realise that, the worse it's going to be for running them for a general election. I mean, I have no idea what their general election campaign is going to look like. I have no idea what their campaign's going to look like. But it is going to be bad from start to finish. And expect, certainly over the weekend, I'm going to be hunting down any sort of Tory MP, any blog or anything like that from Tories trying to explain away all these problems. Because we've already seen, we saw on LBC, I think one of them tried to blame Vladimir Putin for this loss. And you're like, well, it's not really that much of a problem then. Yeah, we'll be getting Penny Mordaunt in. Even then, I don't think... I just think at the moment, there's no one who can turn it around for them. There's really no one. Even if they brought back Boris, his reputation is in absolute shambles. Why on earth would you bring back Boris? That would be a complete sign of desperation. Yeah, they can do a reshuffle, but who else do they have? The ones he elbows will only stick the knife in. Exactly. Tory campaign will be, it's bad, but Labour would be worse. The standard Tory line. Oh yeah, very, very true. Very, very true. That's true. But yes, like I say, watch out this weekend for more probably hilarious Tory coat posting, because it's going to be, if it's anything like with the Twitter we saw yesterday, a thing of absolute brilliance. That's for sure. So, as always, thank you very much for joining me this weekend. It's been fun as always. And yes, we'll see you next weekend for another Good Morning Walk.